watching Keepin' It Green. I'm your host, Debbie Klughers, and today I have with me the Executive Director of Renewable Energy Long Island, Mr. Gordian Raacke.
Hi.
Welcome, Gordian. Thank you for coming back again. You were here about a year ago.
That's right. Always a pleasure to be here, Debbie.
Thank you so much. A local business, local not-for-profit corporation dealing with renewable energy.
A very exciting field, especially in this day and age.
What's going on at your business? What are you guys working on?
Well, a lot of new things are happening. Of course, there's great interest now in renewable energy, in safe and clean energy forms because of what's been happening in Japan, that terrible tragedy at the Fukushima nuclear plant. So people are starting to question the status quo and the wisdom of meeting our energy needs with very dangerous nuclear power and very polluting and dirty fossil fuel power. And the good news is we have very good alternatives, very safe and clean alternatives in the form of solar energy and wind energy and many other things. And so we help people figure that out and see if solar would work for them, what they can do to make their homes or businesses more energy efficient. Mm-hmm. And there are many great rebate programs and tax credits available. So Long Island Power Authority has a number of rebate programs for energy efficiency, Energy Star appliances, mm-hmm. and home standards. There's a new rebate program for solar hot water heaters. Any LIPA customer who has an electric solar hot water heater can get up to $1,500 from the Power Authority to install a solar hot water hybrid system. Wow. Which is wonderful. I have solar hot water panels on my house.
How much does a system like that usually run?
A system like that can run anywhere from, before the rebate and mm-hmm. the tax credits, would cost you about $6,000, maybe up to $8,000 or $9,000.
And what is a conventional system?
A conventional system maybe costs $2,000 or $3,000. Okay. But
in the long run?
Of course, in the long run, you mm-hmm. keep paying for oil or gas or electricity to heat the water.
Causes ocean acidification, all kinds of
But with
problems.
a solar hot water panel on the roof that heats your water, mm-hmm. You can get free fuel from Mother Nature every day when the sun shines. That's my wonderful. Panel is gurgling and making hot water, and it's great. You take your shower and you feel good about it, mm-hmm. Not only because it's a nice hot shower, but because you're not polluting. Right. And it comes free.
And you mentioned the dangers of nuclear power, but people might not be aware that there's a lot of dangers associated with coal mining, with Absolutely. Oil rigs. I mean, not only the dangers to people working in the vicinity, but to the planet, to the environment. I mean, there's all these catastrophes that go on every single day that we're not hearing about. Like in China, I think between 5,000 and 20,000 workers are killed annually from coal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
so that's like people don't even know that. So we might have a loss of life in Japan, but we've got a greater loss of life every day going on from fossil fuel production.
Absolutely. And it's funny when we plug an appliance into that nice, clean, white cover outlet, we don't really think about that. But using fossil fuels has a tremendous cost to life and to our health.
And to the future.
And of course, our future.
I mean, people think about today and us and, this little bit, but we're talking 50, 100, 200 years down the road. Yeah. What's it going to be?
As terrible and awful the accident in Japan is, mm-hmm. that pales in comparison to what we're doing when we're using fossil fuels and what Absolutely. We're doing when we emit greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, which is every time we burn oil or gas, natural gas or gasoline or coal to meet our energy needs, we are putting huge amounts of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere.
Climate change is real.
Climate change is real.
It is happening. It is, altering the planet's ecosystems. It's causing all kinds of
there's great scientific consensus about that. Anyone who's out there still saying this is a hoax, this is not happening, is fooling themselves and the public. So it's ridiculous to say that. Climate change is real, it's happening, it's already costing lives today.
Pretty much, we know
it will be a much greater catastrophe than anything we've ever seen to date, including the events in Japan.
So I think what people need to really take to heart is conserving this planet for the future generations to come. And if we don't switch our reliance on fossil fuels and nuclear, we need to go to renewable energies.
Exactly. And the good news, Debbie, is we now know, and there are many studies out there now that actually say we don't need nuclear, we don't need fossil fuels.
Right.
We can actually, with today's technology, meet our energy needs worldwide, all of our energy needs, with clean, renewable sources of fuel.
And we can keep the dollars at home, we can create
Exactly.
jobs.
We can create jobs,
We don't have
we
to
can
fund other
retool this
countries.
economy.
Right.
We can
Green
keep money in the
jobs.
local economies rather than sending it to oil and gas producing
Right.
regions. So it's not only good for the environment, it's good for our economy. It creates
Exactly.
jobs, and that's really wonderful.
And creates a future.
Absolutely.
And we have some pictures, like a little tour around the world of a lot of different places. You know, it seems like America is like falling behind tremendously in what the rest of the world is doing. There's almost 1,000 wind turbines in Europe, and
Many more.
Thousands.
Yeah.
And
Hundreds of thousands.
how many do we have in America?
Well, we have a lot here too, but worldwide, actually, the number one country in terms of investments in renewable energy, guess what? Is China now.
Sure.
Germany used to be the number one. China now is number one. Germany is number two.
Because they need to meet the needs of their people,
Yeah.
and they're seeing that this is the proper way to go. They're developing, and they're developing properly.
Yeah. So we're going to see. I travel a bit in Europe and other places, and we'll see some of these pictures that I took.
Let's check it out.
So this is actually an interesting form of renewable energy. This is a boiler. This is a village or a small town in Germany, former East Germany, that uses biofuel to heat. So they use wood, wood chips and
Renewable.
pellets, which is a renewable fuel. It may have some other impacts, but it is a renewable fuel. And this is a district heating plant. Here's some additional material that they're using to actually make biogas, which then powers a biogas generator that makes electricity. So this is wood chips that are being fed into a gasification plant that then turns that into methane. An anaerobic digester essentially turns that into methane, and there you see the digester. That big dome captures the gas, and that then runs a generator, almost like a conventional power plant, but in this case it's not powered by
What are the emissions on something like that?
oil. The emissions are very, very low, and of course from a carbon perspective, the net carbon emissions are zero because it's a biofuel.
This is in Germany as well.
This is in Berlin, where they were just unveiling the first electric smart car. This is Mercedes, and I got to test drive one.
How to drive.
And this is the new train station in Berlin. This is the roof of the train station, and you can hardly see it, but the roof, the glass panels, are actually solar panels that generate electricity, powering part of the train station. There you see a close-up of it. And so it's a very interesting architectural application of solar panels. Looks great. Most people don't even notice it.
No, I mean, it's very
You'd have
interesting.
to know that this is actually a power plant.
How long has that been there for?
Oh, that's been there for a few years now. And this, of course, is one of the fast, high-speed ICE trains that you find all over Germany.
160-something miles an hour?
It's amazing. You're sitting in the dining car having lunch, and you're going 160 miles an hour.
What is
without
this
even
beautiful
noticing.
picture?
This is an aerial view of a couple of very large wind turbines that I got to visit also in Germany.
And the yellow crops in the background?
And that's actually a good question. That is rapeseed. That is also a biofuel. Rapeseed, yes. And that's being used to make a natural oil that can be used in place of diesel fuel.
Nice.
And now I think we are in another part of the world. I think this is
Back in America?
back in the USA, in Oregon and Washington State, right on the state line. This is the state line
That's a
wind
beautiful
project.
picture.
Thank you. I went out there a few years ago to see a large-scale wind farm, and this is what it looks like.
This is by the state or an electric company is promoting this?
This is a project owned by FPL Energy, and it's one of the larger wind farms in the U.S.
How much energy does that provide, or to how many
I forget the
homes?
total number, but I think it's 300 and something megawatts of electricity.
This is the same wind farm?
Yes, and it's just fields and fields of, these rolling fields
Wow.
right
No
by
emissions?
the Columbia River. No, zero
emissions, powered
clean
by the
energy,
sun with the wind.
Powered by wind energy, and wind, of
Wow.
course, is
Sun,
caused
yeah,
by sunshine.
So it's all the sun. And here we are in Denmark. We did
Now
a
we're
show
in-
on Denmark.
We are in Copenhagen, right off the harbor of the beautiful city of Copenhagen, looking at a array of 20 offshore wind turbines that I visited over
What's
there.
the benefit of putting those offshore? Could we just hold that shot for a minute, please? The benefits of putting them offshore?
Offshore means you get much more wind, much
constant
more of a
winds.
wind resource because the winds are better and the breezes are steadier offshore. And also in some cases, of course, people don't want to look at the wind turbines on land.
I don't know why.
So putting them
Attractive.
offshore makes them less visible.
And we have a wind project offshore that's been in the works for a while.
That's right. The Long Island Power Authority now is working with the New York State, with the New York Power Authority, the City of New York, and several other partners to put a large offshore wind park off of the coast of Long Island.
Like far, but pretty
Far
far off.
Rockaway.
Not like the,
Yeah, it
the
would be
one
about-
over by Jones Beach
That's
that
right.
everyone protested because they would see
The
it. These
nearest
are far.
turbines would be about 13 miles offshore.
Right, so it won't obstruct anybody's.
You could hardly see them. I mean, on
Wonderful.
a clear day, you would see them, I don't know, not even the
Yeah.
size of my pinky on the horizon. On most
So
days,
what do
you
you
wouldn't
think
even
is
see it.
the prospect for that
Well, I
becoming a
hope that's going to
reality?
happen. That's a 350 megawatt project. That's a good size project. The old one was only 140 megawatts. This would be more than twice that size and could be expanded
And
later
could that
on.
lower our energy costs here on Long Island?
Well, initially, the cost of offshore wind energy is going to be higher than
But it's an
conventional
investment
energy.
into the future.
It's an investment in the future. And we don't know what oil prices and natural gas prices are going to be over the next 20 years.
So it could
we
actually.
know what the price of wind energy is going
Right,
to
free.
be. So the wind is free. We know what the cost of the construction is going to be once it's built.
Wow.
And therefore, the cost is known with pretty much any renewable energy technology. The great advantage is that you know the cost.
So we know the science, we know the benefits, risks are nil. So what is the holdup? It's money?
We have everything we need except the political will. We have the money to do
But
this.
I understand that the political policy is being influenced by science now in this type of field, which is wonderful.
That's a good thing.
And
That's
if
a
they're
good thing.
not, I'm going to subliminally influence the political will to listen to the scientists. That's their job.
we
The
should-
scientists have their job and they do it well.
That's so true, Debbie.
And they're peer reviewed,
we
and it's
need to
not.
listen to our scientists
Right,
and the
that's what
scientific
they do.
community. And the scientists are telling us in no uncertain term, climate change is happening.
Right.
It's man-made. If we don't do something about it now, we'll be in deep trouble.
Right.
And scientists are also now telling us that we can power the world's
world.
energy needs with renewables, 100%
I mean, these even
renewables.
algae, microscopic organisms that grow
Yeah.
in the sea that can power.
And they're
vast
telling
amounts.
us that in the long run, it's going to be less expensive than
Right.
relying on fossil
And not
nuclear
polluting.
fuels.
And
of course,
the
all
thing
the
is,
benefits
too,
environmentally.
that you and I could say to the future, we tried. We're trying. So hopefully everyone can try to get that mindset to, think about, what can I do to help the future, even if it's something small.
Yeah.
Let's look at the effects of climate change. We can continue on the slideshow because we were at a glacier. Why don't you tell us about that?
Oh, this is a picture from the last 100 years or so of the glacier. This is one glacier in the the Grinnell Glacier in Glacier National Park in Montana. And my wife and I went out there to hike up to it. And this is what it looks like now. It's a nice hike, by the way. It's a beautiful area.
Looks beautiful.
But there's hardly anything left of this glacier.
Wow.
I'm filling up my water bottle with some of that melting glacier.
Wow.
And as a reminder of what we're doing when we use energy, fossil-fueled energy.
So again, people might not see
I
it.
keep that on my desk.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now we're in America.
We're back on Long Island, actually.
Back on Long Island.
This is my Prius, and in the background you'll see a 10-kilowatt wind turbine from the town of Brookhaven. Now we're in the town of Hempstead.
Town of Hempstead is doing great things.
They've put up some large solar array there. This is at their Department of Conservation and Waterway.
And that little sign talks about a solar tour that happens every year. You go around.
That's our solar tour every first Saturday in October.
Okay.
We'll do this.
Hydrogen.
This is
Fuel
a
for
hydrogen filling
vehicles.
station.
The only one on Long
in
Island.
Hempstead. And they are planning to actually generate that hydrogen with a large-scale wind turbine.
Wow.
They're filling up their...
And this comes from water. The hydrogen
right.
fuel is
That's
a
right. You can make
product
hydrogen-
of water. And the emissions is, that comes out of the tailpipe?
Just water.
Water. So
Just
how amazing is
water
that?
and
How
oxygen.
simple.
Yeah. So the town of Hempstead has a number of hybrid vehicles, some of them powered by hydrogen fuel.
And the municipalities own, the town
Own this
owns these
installation.
vehicles. That's
right.
wonderful.
That's right. The town also has this solar decathlon house. This was an experimental solar house on display at the Department of Waterways.
Now let's pause this slide for a second and talk about this. This is their shellfish hatchery.
Yeah. Debbie, this is an amazing concept. So here the town of Hempstead uses a array of solar panels.
Very small, unobtrusive on that little building.
On that shack there. And then
a little wind turbine
a,
on the
a
side.
small SkyStream wind turbine. And behind it, you'll see a floating facility.
The tidal, we've got pictures of that.
Yeah, and so this is a clam facility. And,
It's an aquaculture, mariculture facility
Yep, they're raising clams
for the town
and
of
putting
Hempstead.
them back out in the bay here, all powered with solar and wind energy.
How long
great is
ago
that?
did they start that whole?
Oh, I think this was, they completed that a year ago. We had it on our solar tour a year ago. We'll have it again this year.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
You
because
want
this
to
is
move
really,
on to the
and
next?
it's great,
I think
you know,
we've
for
got
kids to see this because they can.
So now they're running their mariculture facility for free.
Yeah, well, they generate the electricity 100% from renewables.
Wow.
And here I am on the.
And I'm bringing this up because we're in East Hampton and we've got a wonderful mariculture facility.
We can certainly do that here, and we should do that
definitely
here.
start putting something. We've got a climate smart community pledge in the town of East Hampton. 2 years in a row, the whole town board has passed it. And this would be a perfect complement to
This would be great, yeah.
the town of East Hampton to start installing some kind of renewable energy sources, especially goes hand in hand with the environment, you know, with the mariculture powered by solar and wind. I
Makes
mean,
sense,
it's like,
right?
you know, it's all.
Nature provides for it all. The
you
thing that the facility manager there told me, the great thing is they have this flupsy that they can tow out to the bay.
Well, let's get a picture of that.
and,
That's the tidal energy.
No, that's the right there. We're standing on it. So this is the flupsy, which is
Flupsy?
they have the clam tanks in there, and the solar panels on top, running the paddle wheel, which makes sure that the clams get enough fresh water pumped through there. You know, bay water circulated.
It's amazing engineering
Through
that
there.
they did this for this
So they can
facility.
tow that out.
And there's their storage batteries.
Yep, exactly for the solar panels. They can tow that out into the bay and let that sit there as long as they want. They used to have a diesel generator on it
Okay.
to run the
Diesel's
pump.
dirty.
They don't need that anymore, and they had to go out and refuel it. Now it just can run perpetually.
Wow.
They don't have to worry about
And
it.
is that, again, it's an investment, but it's an investment for the future, for the
Absolutely.
planet, for the town.
These are the inverters that convert the solar electricity into conventional household.
Do they have that
Electricity.
tie back into the grid to sell
Yep.
the
Yeah,
excess?
exactly.
Wow.
Connected to the grid, so they
Brilliant.
can sell any excess
Look at this guy in his little solar boat.
Yeah, you know,
That's
I
adorable.
believe that's a solar-powered boat. I believe this is Gary Minnick from Go Solar, if I'm not mistaken,
Wow.
powering what used to be a sailboat. Another solar array.
Is that Brookhaven?
You know, I forget where this is, frankly.
think
But
it might
all
be
of these
Brookhaven.
things you can see on our annual solar tour.
Right.
And you can find out on our website when that is and get free.
And the tour
free
includes a lot
tickets.
of homes. I didn't
Absolutely.
include the homes in the slideshow.
Absolutely. We have, in fact, most of the locations are green homes.
Right,
that-
and I've seen they have dryers powered by solar, like all different unique
Exactly,
little
exactly.
things going on at these
And
houses.
the great thing about it is you can go, not talk to an advocate like me or to a salesperson,
homeowner.
but talk to a homeowner
Now, what
who's
is
done
this? Is this the police
Oh,
station?
this is the Suffolk County Police Headquarters in Yaphank, also installed on the roof of that building,
Roofs, what a perfect
a large
spot.
commercial array.
Wow.
And that makes perfect sense because
And there
can't even see
you
it.
are.
there's my solar carport and,
What do you power with that carport?
well, we power the house. It's connected to the house. It's just we didn't have enough room on the roof and enough sun on it, so we built this little structure to
And
put
you
the solar
showed
panels
me your
on there.
energy bill. It was like $5.
Yeah, we
last
pay
year.
nothing for electricity. We just pay $5 or $6 a month to have it
Wow.
connected to the LIPA grid.
And there you are,
That was
100
fun.
and something feet
120
up in the
feet
air.
up in the air. I got to climb up the first 100 kilowatt wind turbine on Long Island, the largest one on Long Island, on the North
And
Fork.
that was done about a year ago as well.
Yep.
And this is a hydrogen home.
This is an experimental home, also a solar decathlon house that is now at the New York Merchant Marine Academy in Kings Point. They have all kinds of cutting edge technologies in that home. Amazing. Also usually on our solar tour.
Wow. So it's there's so many options, so many alternatives. It's a small investment for today. And there are a lot of rebates. You know, you can research LIPA, and maybe even municipalities can research government grants.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's a lot
there
of
are a lot of opportunities. There are
resources.
rebates, there are tax credits. And by the way, the solar electric rebates from LIPA are back. They were
Good.
suspended for a little
I
time
remember
last
that.
year, but they're
Right.
back. So if you want to install solar panels on your home or business, this is a great time to do it. Prices have come down tremendously. If you had gotten an estimate a few years ago and
Which I
thought it
did,
was too expensive,
and it was.
go back, get another
will.
estimate. And again, through our website, you can get contractor estimates.
You've got a lot of resources on your
We
website.
got a lot of resources. We also have a guide that we put out once a year called the Long Island Green Guide, which is, I think, a very informative resource with articles on pretty much everything from solar energy, wind energy, energy efficiency. We talked about, earlier we talked about solar hot water heating. So of course we have an article here on what you need
Cold
to do, what
cash
you need
for
to
hot
know,
showers.
right? So, and it also has all the
So
solar.
if you could do your pool, you can heat your pools
You
with
can heat
solar
your pool with
energy.
solar. You can
Yeah.
heat your home with solar, and you can power your home with solar. We have a vendors directory. It has all the contractors
Now,
in
these
there.
are vetted. You go through these guys and make sure
Yes,
they're all
yeah. And so this is a
quality.
great resource. Again, it's available online and on our website.
Okay.
Or you can go directly to ligreenguide.org.
And people can pick these up where if they were
They can
out
pick
and
them up
about?
at various locations, including some of the solar contractors out here,
Great.
where they have them available. So best thing to do is to go on our website, and then maybe if they want to pick one up, give us a call or send us an email. We'll tell them where to get that. It's free of charge.
And it gets the contractors back at work?
That's
because,
right.
they're
You know,
having
and
a
that's the
little
other
bit of
thing.
a downturn.
Renewable energy is a great green jobs generator, and that's
Absolutely.
what we need today. I just drove by on the way to the studio, drove by the wind turbine
On
in
Long
East
Lane?
Hampton on Long Lane.
Wonderful. It's so nice to see it.
It was running. It
Yep.
was making free, clean electricity.
Right. For a farmer.
And you know how great. Steve Mahoney, the farmer who put that up, is now keeping his money in the local economy. You know, he spent money on that wind turbine
Right.
to get a local contractor to install that.
That's
That
wonderful.
money stays in the local economy.
And so
instead
does
of,
his energy bills that he doesn't
Yeah.
have to pay for fossil fuels
Exactly.
from another country or.
Exactly. I mean, look, we send about $1.7 billion a year away when we pay our LIPA bills.
Wow.
LIPA pays 1,700 million, that's 1.7 billion every year for fuel and buying power from other
From
places.
another country.
We could keep that money in the local economy.
Right.
Imagine if we had that much money, $1.7 billion in the local economy, what
Why
we
don't
could
we
do with
just
that.
take that money and build these solar arrays and put up the windmills and talk about biodiesel and
We need a new
biofuels?
paradigm. We need to reinvent our economy
So-
with renewable energy technologies.
what can we do to get that moving at a quicker pace?
Well, first we can start at home, of course. We can each use energy efficiency and conservation to reduce energy demand. Then we can install solar and wind technologies and geothermal and all the other great clean renewable energy technologies. And then, of course, we need to get our elected officials
I was just going
to
to ask
take
you
action.
that.
Because
How can we get our local elected officials to really get on the ball with this and get something going on?
the towns should lead, the counties should lead.
Right,
They've
to
already
show
done
the
some
people.
things, but they can do a lot more. We should have our town facilities all powered by renewable
Absolutely.
energy sources. And the towns should join the climate smart communities, prepare a climate
They
action
should not
plan.
only join them, they should
They should
implement
act,
them and
exactly.
act. I mean, saying in paper, we've joined this doesn't really
Doesn't do
anything.
anything, doesn't
You
reduce
need to
emissions.
move forward
You
on
need to
it,
have an
'cause-
action plan and then implement the action plan. It's going to save taxpayer dollars, which we need to do right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to keep money in the local economy. It's going to
Save the planet.
save the planet.
the
It's good for
future.
the environment. It's good for taxpayers.
Great. Thank you, Gordian. Thank you so
You're
much
welcome,
for
as
coming
always.
once again. A
My
lot
pleasure.
of great information.
Always great to be here.
Got to come back again
We'll do that.
sooner than a year.
Yeah, we'll do that.